best-selling album of 1983, of 1984, of all time.
Damn.
We're talking 70 million copies.
70 mil?
8 Grammys in one night.
8 Grammys in one night?
Successes.
Hold up, run that back. Did he say 8 Grammys in one night? Groovy tapping in, man. Welcome back to another vid. How good was Michael Jackson actually? You know what I'm saying, man? We talking about one of the greatest artists and performers of all time. One of the most well-known people to ever touch planet Earth. Globally, MJ was touching people. You know what I'm saying, man? This guy was amazing at what he do. And y'all know on this channel, man, we cover the GOATs, man. You know what I'm saying? GOAT entertainer, GOAT artist. This man right here was for sure one of one, man. In this video, we're gonna see how good he was actually at what he do, man. And, you know, I just want to take a deep dive into his career, his legacy, man, and you know, kind of educate some of the younger people and educate myself too as well on how great this guy was at what he do, man. Shout out Mike Jack, man. Before we get into it, man, like the video, comment down below, man. Any videos y'all want Young Groovy to react to next? Not just sports, man. We diving into everything, every lane. You know what I'm saying, man? We is not finna put no box on this channel. You dig? So let's hop straight into it, man.
When Michael Jackson performed, the world stopped. Stadiums overflowed. Fans fainted at the sound of his voice. Thriller
That's
alone
crazy,
outsold everybody. And his influence, you can hear it on every pop star who's ever touched the stage since. But Michael wasn't perfect. He's been criticized for his live singing, his bad acting, and even though it's not his fault, he's been accused of having fake songs on his posthumous albums.
August 2022. Do you think that those were actually Michael's vocals or not?
If I tell you today,
Right now.
I can tell you right now that no.
Michael obviously became the king of pop, but the journey that made him one was far darker and much more complicated than most people realize. He's had to face rejection, doubt, and fight to prove himself again and again. So how good was Michael Jackson actually? In 1968, a little kid from Gary, Indiana walked into Motown Records. He outsang grown men who'd been doing this for decades. That kid was Michael Jackson.
That's crazy,
See, Jackson
bro.
5 weren't just another kid group. They were something else entirely. Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown, he said he'd never seen anything like it.
What was it the first time you saw the Jackson family when Michael Jackson came in? What were your first impressions when you saw them perform in front of you?
Well, I was floored. When I saw them perform, I was really floored.
Diana Ross introduced him to America on the Hollywood Palace in 1969. And Michael, the tiny kid with an afro bigger than his whole body, he grabbed the mic like he'd been performing for 50 years.
Man, ain't no way in hell, man. How old is he right here? Why he just hit that note like that? Run that back. Hold on.
50 years.
Damn, bro. That's impressive as hell, though. To go up there in front of a crowd like that and not fold. Y'all know most kids his age will fold, get shy, maybe run off stage, start crying. Hell no, bro. This man is made for this, bro. This man been doing this since he was a kid, bro.
But the part people don't always think about is, while other kids were learning multiplication tables, Michael was learning choreography. While they were playing tag at recess, he was in the studio until 3 a.m.
Think about that, though. Think about that, though, bro. Most kids his age is outside playing. This man is in the studio, making songs, making hits, recording, rehearsing. He was meant for this, bro. And shout out to his OG, man. I know he was strict on him, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about he instilled consistency, discipline, hard work, and not to mention his God-given ability, his talents, all that mixed in one pot. Made Michael Jackson the greatest of all time.
At recess, he was in the studio until 3 a.m.
Actually, you're becoming like a stage addict. I really am. Like when there are off days and there is no show, I'm up at night dancing just to sing.
Wow.
It's really strange. I guess I'm an addict. Can't help it.
Hard worker.
Joe Jackson didn't believe in childhood. He believed in perfection. He got it. Through this thing right here, or if you're black, you're probably familiar with the switch.
Ooh.
Michael would later.
In the comments down below, man. What was the worst whipping y'all ever got, man? Well, and what was it with? Because mine was with an extension cord. Good God. That motherfucker hurt, y'all. I'm talking about I went to school with whips and all type of stuff. And I better not have said nothing. Because my Dukes was going to be on my ass. Oh, my God, man. I know that, man. I know that feeling, bro. The belt come out and you start hearing it dangling, man. There was no way you was running from that, man.
Or if you're black, you're probably familiar with the switch.
The switch off
Michael
the
would
tree.
later say he was so terrified of his father that he'd vomit when he saw him coming. Now, think about that. A kid so scared of his dad that he'd get physically sick. But that same kid would walk on stage and command an audience of thousands of people. By 1970, the Jackson 5 had 4 consecutive #1 hits.
God
I Want You Back,
damn.
ABC, The Love You Save, I'll Be There. No group had ever done that before.
All of them is
Michael
hits.
was 11 years old singing about love and heartbreak in a way that would make grown women cry.
That's crazy if you think about it.
But the thing is, it gets complicated because that success came with a price. Every interview, every photo shoot, Berry Gordy's team would remind him, you're not children, you're professionals. Michael couldn't make friends his own age. He couldn't go to school dances. He couldn't even hardly go outside without causing a riot. He later talked about staring out hotel windows, watching kids play in the park, just watching. Michael just wanted to be normal.
Wow.
He wasn't normal.
That's crazy. To think about it, bro, this man couldn't even live a regular life as a kid, bro. He could not go outside and make friends, go to school and get a regular education, bro. That's crazy as hell to think about, bro. And the fact that he had to move like an adult and not as a kid, that's impressive as hell, dog. That's a lot of structure in his life, bro. That's impressive as hell, bro. Because he wasn't normal, bro. He was a talented ass kid, bro.
See, he was talented, but not just talented. He was absolutely obsessed with music.
Who did you start
Crazy.
listening to get your kind of singing style?
James Brown. I said James Brown and Sammy Davis Jr. because I like the kind of things they do, like fast music.
What did you borrow from them?
Well, I do most of his dancing on stage, and I just like the way Sammy sings.
And the music was incredible, but behind every perfect performance, there was a child who had been hit for missing a step. Behind every smile, it was a kid who didn't know what it was to just be a kid.
Damn.
By 1979, Michael was 21 and desperate to prove something. The Jackson 5 had left Motown and became the Jacksons.
Okay.
But Michael, he wanted more. He needed more.
My name is James Phillips. I'd like to know, first of all, how do you feel being up there alone, and are you gonna make appearances by yourself?
No, I'm just doing this because these are solo songs for my album, and they put them on the Jackson 5 album.
Now enter Quincy Jones, the man who'd worked with everyone from Frank Sinatra to Count Basie. When Quincy agreed to produce Michael's solo album, people thought it was weird. A jazz legend working with a former child star to make pop and disco music. But it was a match
That's
made
different.
in heaven.
Yeah.
Quincy and Mike, they also worked together on the movie The Wiz, and a year later, they dropped Off the Wall. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. It still gets played in movies.
Stop
and
Till You
social
Get
events.
Enough, a
The album went
classic.
platinum 4 times. The part that nobody really talks about, despite selling millions and 4 top 10 singles, the album just got 2 Grammy nods and only 1 win. Michael sat in that audience watching other artists win awards he knew he deserved. And something in him just snapped. He told his lawyer that night, my next album is gonna be the biggest album of all time. Now most people would have called him crazy. A 21-year-old kid talking about he's gonna make the biggest album ever. Yeah, he was Michael Jackson, but he wasn't the king yet. Now, Michael had been competing with adults since he was 5. He knew he was talented, but he learned that talent wasn't enough. You needed to be undeniable. Now, the thing is, Off the Wall should have been enough. It revolutionized pop music. It made disco sound sophisticated. But the industry still saw him as Little Michael. Still as Diana Ross's protege. Just one of the Jacksons.
Damn, so my boy Mike wanted some respect on his name, man. He said stop playing with him, man. I wonder who he was losing to. You know what I'm saying? At the Grammys. Like, who was putting out more hits than Mike, man?
November 29th, 1982. The day the music industry changed.
Thriller?
forever.
Oh, yeah.
Thriller wasn't supposed to happen the way that it did.
Oh, yeah.
CBS executives wanted another Off the Wall, a safe, successful, profitable album. But Michael and Quincy had other plans. They wanted to create an album where every song could be a single. Every track had to be perfect. But let me tell you about MTV first, because you can't understand the impact Thriller had without understanding this. The MTV launched in 1981 as music television. They had a very specific format, mostly rock music. They said Michael didn't fit their demographic. When Billie Jean dropped, everybody knew it was a hit, but MTV still wasn't convinced. It wasn't until the president of CBS Records, Walter Yetnikoff, he threatened to pull all of CBS's artists from their rotation until they played Michael Jackson.
There we go.
Once they did, Billie Jean became one of their most requested videos. It opened doors for not just Michael, but for
other
countless artists who came after.
Facts.
But see, Michael wasn't done. It was Motown's 25th anniversary, and Michael was supposed to perform with his brothers. He did, but then he asked for a solo spot. He came out with his fedora, kind of like this one.
Okay.
Black jacket, silver glove, the Billie Jean bass line started to play. And then
Wait, crazy.
But Michael still wasn't done changing history. For the Thriller video, he made it into a 14-minute short film. Cost $500,000.
Damn.
Before Thriller, music videos were basically film performances. They might have had some simple effects.
A 14-minute music video? That's tough, bro. He made it into a short film, bro. The crazy thing is, bro, I don't think I sat down and watched the full video of Thriller. That's crazy. I've seen clips and, you know, different parts of the video, but I didn't sit down and actually watch the short film. I gotta actually do that.
But after Thriller, videos basically became mini movies. Artists started hiring film directors, budgets exploded, storylines. We see it today still.
Wow.
It all became standard because of Michael. He basically changed what it means to make a music video. Now, Thriller,
this
the
is
album,
because Mike?
I mean, it damn near destroyed every record that ever existed. Best-selling album of 1983, of 1984, of all time.
Damn.
We're talking 70 million copies. 7 singles
70
in the top 10,
mil?
8 Grammys in one night.
8 Grammys in one night? Hold up, run that back. Did he say 8 Grammys in one night? Damn! God damn, Mike.
1984 of all time. We're talking 70 million copies, 7 singles in the top 10, 8 Grammys in one night. But success is complicated.
Damn.
Because now everybody wanted a piece of Michael Jackson. The Pepsi commercial that went wrong, his hair caught on fire during a pyrotechnic malfunction. That's when the painkillers started. Then he got backlash for his pop success. Black radio stations started saying he abandoned his community. Rock critics says he was too commercial. People who ignored him during Off the Wall now saying he's overexposed. And all of this was just the start of what would eventually become his Achilles heel, the media. Now, fast forward, Michael has spent 3 years preparing for a follow-up album. I mean, the pressure of following Thriller must have been crazy. I mean, imagine trying to follow up the Bible. What do you write next?
Yeah.
Bad was the answer. 5 #1 singles from one album. The Bad Tour became the highest grossing tour in history. But there was another conversation. Prince.
Him and Prince.
See, while Michael...
Was Prince really like that, though? Was he on MJ level? In the comments, let me know. Like, is that really a fair comparison? I mean, I know Prince was a talented artist, but was he on MJ level? Let me know in the comments.
Was breaking sales records. Prince was breaking musical boundaries. Purple Rain, Sign of the Times.
Purple Rain.
Critics loved to pit them against each other. Michael was pop. Prince was art. Michael could dance, but Prince could play multiple instruments. Michael actually wanted to collab with Prince. He reached out for him to do a duet on Bad. But when Prince heard the song, he heard the first line, and he wasn't quite down for that.
The first line of that song is "Your butt is mine."
Whoa.
Your butt is mine. God.
Yo, butt is mine. Hold up. What do you mean by that? Hold on. Hold up.
Song, he heard the first line, and he wasn't quite down for that.
The first line of that song is "Your butt is mine."
Your butt is mine.
Now I said, who gonna sing that to whom? Cause you sure ain't singing it to me. And I sure ain't singing it to you. So, right there we got...
Hey, yo.
So the rivalry, it wasn't real.
Prince wasn't going for that.
They respected each other. But the media always needs a story. And unfortunately, Michael became a prime target for that. The media discovered they could sell more magazines by calling him Wacko Jacko than by celebrating his music. Every weird thing he did became a headline. He bought a chimp, front page news. He slept in a hyperbaric chamber? He didn't, but who cares about the truth? Headlines for weeks.
Damn.
Then they got
Imagine being that famous, bro, to the point where the media just making up false stories about you just to profit off of it, bro. You know how annoying that gotta be, bro, for Mike? Damn, bro. I would hate to be that famous, bro. I'm gonna be honest, bro.
their biggest story yet.
I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
Michael had developed vitiligo, a disease that destroys skin pigmentation. It was something that defined him in both positive and negative ways. But instead of compassion, he got mockery. By the time the Dangerous album came out, Michael was pushing boundaries again. New Jack Swing with Teddy Riley, Industrial Sounds, Black or White became the most watched television event of 1991. But the Wacko Jacko stories, they just kept coming. He was buying the Elephant Man's bones. He was sleeping in an oxygen tank. The stories got more and more ridiculous, but some people started to believe him. I mean, at the very least, it started to shape his image. The irony is, while some people were calling him a freak, he was still revolutionizing music. The choreography he created during this era, I mean, it's still copied today. Watch any K-pop group. That's Michael.
Damn, they really stealing everything from this guy.
Michael was nice and trusting, but a little too trusting. See, Michael had his own theme park, and he would let kids and their families come stay with him. You know, everything was cool. He never had a childhood, so he wanted to do that. But in 1993, everything came crashing down. In August of 1993, Michael Jackson was accused of, let's just say, doing not so nice things to children.
Whoa,
now, this has been a sore subject around Michael Jackson for a long time, but
is this true, y'all?
Talk about what it did to him. Because whether you believe he was innocent or guilty, what happened next was basically a public execution. The accusation came during the Dangerous tour. Michael was performing at sold-out stadiums when police raided his home. Media coverage was relentless. I mean, it was so bad he had to cancel the tour. He became dependent on painkillers just to function. The case was eventually settled outside of court, but I mean, the damage was permanent. Next thing you know, the History album drops. It was half greatest hits and half new material. And the new songs, they were angrier, more defiant. They Don't Care About Us, Scream, Stranger in Moscow. This wasn't the same Michael who sang The Way You Make Me Feel. This was somebody who was hurt and wounded.
Damn.
And of course, it's Michael, so the album and the tour was still successful. But you could tell there was something broken that just couldn't really be fixed. The allegations came back in 2003. Then came the trial. He was acquitted on all charges, but acquittal doesn't necessarily mean vindication in the public eye. By this point, Michael proved himself to be one of the greats, but he had still not topped the success of Thriller, and his career was starting to go on the decline. So he wanted to try to top himself one more time, but he had another demon to battle with: Sony Music Entertainment. In 2001, Michael dropped Invincible, his last studio album. Sony barely promoted it. They were in a war with Michael over masters and money, but it still debuted at #1 and still went double platinum.
That's crazy. They barely promoted it and it went double platinum and #1. That goes to show, man. MJ, one of them ones, dog.
It was a failure for Michael Jackson, but it was still a success that most artists would kill for.
Facts.
The machine was breaking down and the debts were mounting up. It wasn't because he wasn't making money. I mean, Michael had lots of assets, but the lawsuits never stopped coming and everything just seemed like it was closing in. So Michael wanted one last hurrah. In 2009, he
lawsuits
announced
put him in
This Is
debt.
It tour. 50 concerts at London's O2 Arena, sold out in hours. He was 50 years old, rehearsing like he was 25. The footage from the rehearsals, I mean, he was still magical. Still had that thing that made him different from everyone else. But he was also fragile. He couldn't sleep without meds, and he barely weighed 130 pounds.
Damn.
June 25th, 2009, the King of Pop was pronounced dead at UCLA Medical Center.
According to the Los Angeles Times, pop star Michael Jackson died this afternoon.
Crazy.
Both the Los Angeles Times and CBS News are both now reporting that Michael Jackson has died.
His death was devastating, and according to some, it's still a mystery. But on the bright side, his legacy is still felt, not just by music people, but all of us.
Oh, for sure.
So how good was Michael Jackson actually? I mean, the numbers are untouchable. Over 1 billion records sold, 13 Grammy wins, 39 Guinness World Records. Thriller alone has sold more than most artists' entire careers combined.
Damn.
The numbers, they don't quite capture it. Not really. Watch Beyonce perform. That's Michael. Watch Bruno Mars, Michael, The Weeknd, Justin Timberlake, Usher, Chris Brown, all of them. I mean, they're all trying
Definitely
to copy
Chris Brown, yeah.
Even the K-pop groups, BTS, they're walking through doors that Michael opened. He changed what it meant to be a pop star.
For sure.
Before Michael, pop stars, they sang songs, but after, I mean, they created whole worlds around their albums and different eras. Music videos weren't just promotional tools, they became art. He changed the game for concerts. I mean, he even changed the whole landscape of MTV. A black kid from Gary, Indiana became the biggest star on the planet. He made music that transcended language, race, culture, everything.
Yeah.
Was he perfect? Of course not. I mean, he didn't play instruments as good as Prince, and on his live shows, his voice got strained and he didn't sound as good as the record. Michael's impact was way bigger than music. Michael Jackson had his childhood stolen, had his appearance mocked, his reputation destroyed, his every move criticized.
Damn.
He never got that comeback. Never got that
How do you
final
live
victory
like
lap
that?
where the world just celebrated him. But maybe that's what makes his greatness even more remarkable. He never stopped trying to give everything he had to heal the world through his music.
At your concerts, there are hundreds of people in the audience yelling, Michael, Michael. What do you feel like?
When they're all holding hands and everybody's rocking and all colors of people are there, all races, and
That's
it's the most
fire.
wonderful thing.
Now, Michael was so
Brought the
good
world
that
together.
15 years later after his death, pop stars are still chasing what he achieved. I have a video about how every modern artist, possibly your favorite artist,
Damn.
is still copying Michael Jackson. Watch this video on the screen next, and I'll catch you over there.
Man, dope video right there, man. How good was Michael Jackson actually? One of the greatest to ever do it, man. This was a short, dope film about Michael Jackson's success, man, and, you know, everything that he's done in his lifetime, man. He achieved a lot, bro. Achieved a lot and impacted the world while doing that. Growing up, he didn't really have the normal childhood, you know, the regular childhood like everybody else had, going outside, going to school and all that. Bro was already a professional at the age of 5, 6, bro. Singing, making hits, you know what I'm saying, in the studio, long nights. Strict dad, you know, got introduced into the music industry at an early age, man, and saw success with the music. He went solo and went even more crazier, dog. Dropped Thriller, man, and everything just changed forever. You know what I'm saying? He went global. This is a dope video right here, man. Shout out Michael Jackson, man. Salute to everything that he's done. Definitely one of the greatest artists of all time, greatest performers of all time. This is a dope video right here, man. I learned a lot about him. Definitely changed the game for a lot of artists nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Paved the way. And like he said, till this day, it's a lot of artists that's trying to copy off Mike and what he did. He's definitely one of the ones who lived through his purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's music. You know what I'm saying? So, dope video right here. Dope reaction, man. If y'all like the video, man, hit the like button. Comment down below, man. Any videos y'all want me to check out next, man. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all tap in, subscribe to the channel if you're new, man. Young Groovy signing out. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one, bro.